All right, guys, welcome to September 26, 2020 Watchlist Generation. We met about an hour earlier and went over some of the plays that people in the room had, and we discussed the DK and G. DK and G is perfect setup on a 130 chart for me. My plan is in here. We're also looking at UPS. It has a daily squeeze. If this squeezes up and it pops, I'll be playing it as a Momo play. If it pulls back to the 8 and 21, I'll be playing it as a TPS play. All right. Now, FedEx goes along with this, right? So if you're playing both of them, you're kind of dipping into the same pond, right? And if you want to do that, that's fine, but just realize what you're doing. So the FedEx has a 195 starting to set up. Good news, gap filled. So I'll be watching FedEx as well. Vive. Anant says, Donald, DK, and G, I would love for it to come down to 5150 so it can create that right shoulder. Let's check it out. See, do you guys see what Anant's doing? Man, I love it. He is projecting, and this is what you have to do, guys. You can't just be good at reading this side of the chart. You have to be good at drawing out this side of the chart. So what Anant sees is this, and then he would love this, right? Come back down, put in, and what does that create? What have we seen on all of Anant's patterns pretty much, right? The inverted head and shoulders, and then pop. So that's what he's looking for. And when I say when it pulls to the 8 or when it pulls to this, that's what I'm doing. I'm drawing out these patterns. If it breaks above, it's a Momo chart. It's exactly what I'm doing, right? So let's look at my chart and put it in there. So you're looking at the 5130. So yeah, do you guys see this volume profile area? So he would love, you see these two bars right here? This is what he's looking at. It aligns with the volume profile, the anchored VWAP. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to type in a little, just so I have some notes so I can remember. Yeah, so yeah, that is for those that are new, what I call the Anant plays are conservative A+ setups. So for me, I'm a buyer at around 52.25. 52.25 around this 8. I'm a buyer up here. Anant is not as aggressive as I am. So he's a buyer when it comes down here. He wants a better risk reward, a better win rate, right? So when he comes down here, this is where he's getting in. So this, if it came down here, I would buy longer term dated calls because it's a safer play, and I could, if I wanted to, I could hold it longer. All right, beauty. So Vive, again, for those that know, I'm a long-term holder in Vive. What they do is they make software that helps biotech and pharmaceutical companies organize and store data related to clinical trials. When has there ever been a need more than we have now for that stuff, right? We need it more now than ever. So again, guys, this is depending upon the market. We're setting up here. We had this pop, this zoom that happened to the market. We had this pullback, and it's starting to squeeze really, really, really well here. You have TTMs that are stacked, and what that means is, do you see Vive right here? If you look, what I got highlighted right there, this is telling you a squeeze on the daily, 195, 2 hour, 78. So you've got stacked squeezes. That means it's really building up energy. See all these squeezes? Beauty. It's beauty. It's really building up, right? If we break above these lines, we're really going to get going. So The 195 is probably what I would play. The daily's still kind of new, right? The Momo shifted, but it's still kind of new. So if we get a pullback to the 8 on Vive, I'll put this note in here. Same thing on this. If we get a pullback to the 8, I'm in. If we get a break over these, I'm playing it as a Momo chart. It's not a TPS chart anymore. It's a Momo chart, right? Because there's nothing above us. And what usually happens on Momo charts, right? We pop up, we retest, and we start squeezing again. So in this market, right, if it doesn't change, we're getting buyers back in, I will play Momo. When we were down here, I would not play Momo. Oh, my pleasure. Lincoln, is squeeze consolidation? Yeah, it is. So do you know what a TTM squeeze is, Lincoln? I don't have that much courage, man. You will shortly. I'm not kidding. It's like a snowball. It's like a snowball, brother. It comes faster than you think, but don't be too aggressive. Stay where you are, accept slow growth. But that compounding growth starts to happen. Yeah, so Keltner's go inside the Bollinger Band, Lincoln. That's a TTM squeeze. That's these red dots right here. You know it's in a TTM squeeze right here? And maybe I should do a video, just a free video explaining that is, so we can just share that with people. So consolidation is a TTM squeeze because your Bollinger Bands are coming in 1.5 ATR, the average true range. All right, so that's how I'm looking at Vive. Target, we talked about with Anant, but we'll go over it again. Guys, all I'm going to do on this for Target on my watch list is copy this, tell what squeeze it is, and paste it in. That's it. Anant, you nailed it. It's perfect. I love it. 78 minutes. So we went over that already. For those that weren't, I know on the recording we haven't gone over it, so I'll just review it real quick. We're meeting an hour beforehand now just to go over everybody's ideas. And this was one of Anant's, and it was on my watch list. You got Anchor VWAP support. You've got the 21 EMA support, which is also a support of volume profile here. Looking to enter on a retrace of the 152.50 area. Stop will be below the Anchor VWAP lower Bollinger Band of 151. I think if things work like I want them to, by then we squeeze, then the squeeze would have matured as well. Woody notes there's only 2 dots in on the 78-minute chart. How many minutes are in a day? How many trading minutes are in a day, guys? You know? 390, right? Is it 395? Victor, is it 395? I thought it was 390. It may be 395. It's 6.5 hours, right? Okay. I could be wrong, but, so 6.5 times 60 is 390, right? So divide that by 78, and you got 5 candles, right? So 5 candles on the 78-minute chart. So let's just see if we're 5 candles in, if Anant's looking for a pull to the 152.50 area right here. So you could just, with your little stuff, say, okay, we've double topped. We're probably going to reject. So let's put a little candle here, maybe a little candle here, and a little drop, a little pop, and then a little candle that really breaks, and then we wash. And so you're starting to say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, at about 6 candles, we'll be 6 dots in. I like it. So that's all he's doing, and I love it. And honestly, I think think we actually might get we might actually get a little bit deeper dip than that as well. So I wouldn't freak out about it. What is your stop? 151? Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So I'm not honestly I don't know. No, I'll think about it more. I think you're right because we need to stay above these guys. If we start getting back below them, we're gonna have to. So we've chewed through them once. So here we are. We've chewed through those guys once. We're chewing through them a second time. Yeah, yeah. We need to hold this to make this own individual pattern be the triple top break here. Yeah, that's what needs to happen. All right. Yeah, absolutely, Rick. And Rick, do you know that we can you can zoom in also. You can zoom in on the screen on GoToMeeting. There's a plus and a minus, so you can zoom in. And so if I change, I apologize. You kind of zoom in. But yeah, I will definitely do that. I'll make it bigger. All right. Back to my watch list here. Target, beautiful. So DE guys, it's kind of a I just like the way this is setting up. I'm looking at this as more of a vertical put spread play. If I can get a pull, let me make this bigger for everybody. If I can get a pull, I use the regular. I don't even have the pro. Because honestly, Mitzi, what the pro is basically telling you is, hey, get ready. We're about to start a good pattern, good position, a good squeeze. And I can already tell that. I don't need it. I actually don't even need the TTM anymore because I can tell with price action, like if we took off this study, look at the Bollinger Bands. When they start squeezing in like this, do you see it? Do you see it starting to squeeze in? When the Bollinger Band starts squeezing in, that's when the TTM is there, right? That's when the price consolidation starts to happen. And so, yeah, for newer traders, what all indicators are, the only thing indicators are is to help newer traders understand what is happening on price action. Once you get that understanding of price action, you're fine. That's why Kyle literally uses nothing. He's got it. All right, so let's mark up DE here. The only thing I'm concerned with, right, on DE is up here. These guys. I only care about these guys because here we go. This is the people that I'm playing. If we get trapped beneath these guys, I don't want to be in the stop. It needs to hold. So let me see where everybody is. Where would we get a potential support is definitely there. You've also got support here, and you see the air in between. And when I say the air, what I'm talking about is the lack of buyers and sellers, which means volume profile. So you see this air in between here. So what that means to me is if we break 215 area, we're definitely going down to 211 area. And you've got a chunk of people in here. So the way that I look at this is you've got two chunks of people. You've got the people in here. You got the people in here, and you got the people in here, right? So this is two plays for me. If we pull back to the 8, between the 8 and 21, and I can get in somewhere around 215, I'm a buyer. But what am I buying? At this point, I'm buying a vertical put spread. And I'm buying it in this general area. So around maybe 210, 215, 210, 212, 210, or even 205, 210 if you want to be safe. So, because I think this area will hold. If this breaks, we're going to come down and hit this 211, 212 region. This is where I would start buying falls in here. Does that make sense? Does everybody understand that? Oh, thank you, Anat. 929. See, this is the reason for community, guys. This is why you have a community of traders. Thank you. I love it. I don't have those on my chart. I need to put them on there, don't I? So let's check out what DE does on dividend. Love it. I love it, Victor. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that, Victor? Do you think so? Anant told me on chat, for those on video, Donald just noticed dividend on DE. I didn't see it. So we come over here to events. We're looking at last 12 ex-dividend days to see what the chart does. Wow. Woo! Look at that. I love that. I love everything about this dividend run. So you said it was the 29th. So that's this Thursday, right? No, sorry, looking at October. That's Tuesday. So on Monday, so those of you that don't know, stocks, options, all of it, they adjust for the dividend. But what I might do is I'll probably wait to the dividend date. So look, just using the same stuff that I use for earnings. So look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this over to my day trading for how could I set this up? Yeah, you know what? I might buy shares. And sell a call against it. Exactly. What Anant just said in there is exactly right. It's just another data point that we can use, right? So what I'm trying to figure out is this is all programmed in. Let me insert a row. Okay, perfect. So DE, give date is September 29. And what I'm looking at is you're giving me, it's a 76-cent dividend. And on dividend day, there's two ways we can play this. We can play the shares. We could get in the day before. If you look at the negative days here, if you just added those up and divided it, you're probably going to come for about a 1% dip. All right, so what I would do is I'd put in the price here, and so I would say 1% here for a dip to get in. And then that's going to give me the range to get in on that day. So the way that I'm going to play this, guys, for DE, I'm probably going to play it two ways. So I'll probably try to get in with 100 to 500 shares to sell a call against to try to collect the premium and the dividend of 76 cents, and then play this run up afterwards with a VPS and and possibly calls depending on how far we dip. Yeah, I like this. Here, I'm gonna snip this in as well. Thanks, Anat. This is great. All right. So that's kind of how I'm looking at DE. So Anat, DETTM, and not reminded me a div is coming September 29th. All right, so that's how I'm looking at DE. All right. Now this one is another one that Anant told me about. Oh, great question. So let's pull to this, right? So what I do is I use the data points So for a vertical put spread, look at 1 week out. What's the stats on it, Paul? Right. So I'm always using these data points to figure out, hey, where's a good spot? So for DE, if I went to October 9th, that's what, about 2 weeks out, close to it, right? So do they? They have horrible spreads. So do you know how to value a spread not using what's given to you on the option chain? Because sometimes they'll say, hey, this spread has a 4.5 midpoint, and you're never going to get 4.5. But do you know how to value those, Paul? So like, I'll do a video on it. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to figure out what you should get paid for a spread. We all know that if you are at the money, if right now, if I was going to do a spread for, let's just say this Friday on DE, what if I did a 215 by 220 or 217.50 by 222.50? What would be my premium on that, on a $5 spread? What would I get? Does anybody know? 217.50 by 222.50. Yeah, exactly. You're going to get about 250, right? So 50% is at the money. And so what you're doing is, all right, let's just say I'm looking for a pull. If I was looking for a pull to, let's just say this 215 area, well, if I did a 212 by 217, I should get $5 here, right? And so you're using that math to pull down here to figure out what you can get. I'll do a video on it. I don't want to take up too much time here, but a lot of times you can't. A lot of times you can't use the what's on the chain if it's real spready. So you just put in what I call fishing order. Remember? So I'll put in. So let's say this pops down to 215, and I put in a spread around 211 to 215. Hey, if I can get $1.75 for it, I'll go for it, because then my cost base is 209, right? Or subtract whatever your premium was, 211, 215. So it'd be 214, So you just have to subtract that premium from your highest cost basis. The other thing, anyway, DE, I'm not got my brain rolling on DE, sorry. So let's jump to KMB here. This is approaching extreme support. Do you guys see this on KMB? Sorry, I'll make the screen bigger. Do you guys see this support? It's approaching. We had this fire. Now it's coming back. So you should have really, really good support here. What I would say is it's got some stacked squeezes going on. I would not play this if it starts breaking down into this region in here. So I would give it down to this region and play it there. So you got a 195, you got a 130, you got a 2 hour and a 78, right? Hourly. See all these stacked squeezes? 30 minutes, like it's just stacked across the board. So Kimberly Clark, how are the spreads on Kimberly Clark? Yes, exactly. It's exactly what it is. What Anant said is, hey, could that be an oversold squeeze play, right? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's oversold. It's hitting. There's a lot of good things about this chart. It's oversold. It's hitting in support, right? Starting to squeeze. And what we want to make sure that we do is we squeeze and fire long. If we fire down, get out. Symmetry. So for a pullback this size, it's a great question. So they're asking, where's symmetry on this? So if you look, any of these plays are going to be bigger. Like it's already broken these symmetry supports because of how far it's pulled, right? So that was symmetry. If you look at, let's just take this biggest one here. For those that don't know what symmetry means, you're just measuring pullbacks. So you see how this pullback is already broken. Anything that was symmetry in here, you'd have to go back into here to start looking for symmetry in this range. But this was COVID, so I wouldn't use this. But if you wanted to measure, let's say this to this, you might be closer. Weekly. Where are your 2 points or not? It says 11, so 9:30 and 11:04. Here, let's take a peek at Anas. How he did it. There we go. So here's the symmetry that Anas found. So it's sitting right at that 100% rate, which would also be the same symmetry for this right here as well. You can see that pullback, right? Boom, boom. So these two symmetry lines are going to be right there. So it's right on it. Good find. All right, so that's what I'm looking at as far as Kimberly-Clark for stack squeezing. Exactly. Also, previous resistance, new support. Exactly. Yeah. So what I would use that symmetry, these levels as kind of your. This is at a point where Kimberly-Clark is. You don't want to get stuck in a big pullback down to here, down to the 133 range. So you are at support levels here. And so if you break these, you need to stop out. But it's a good risk reward shot. Oversold, squeezes, bounce. We'll see what happens. Peloton. You can tell Peloton, I mean, it's just, it tried 100 and then broke. It was on last week's watch list to get through 100. It did. So what I'm doing on this, guys, is I'm simply looking for lower time frame squeezes to see if we can actually push and base above 100. Now, one of two things is going to happen here. It's going to break above and base, or it's going to start consolidating here to break above, right? One of those two things is going to happen. So I'm a buyer on a shorter time frame. Let's say the 2 hours squeezing. If we come down to the 21 on the 2 hour around 92, I'm a buyer in that region. And I will add down to the volume profile level here. And I'll put those all on the chart when we're going in. So stop out under that support. John, which chart? Okay, great. I'm not going to answer that question. Yeah, great. All right. Now, ZM's kind of it's a Momo stock right now, right? So the way I'm going to play this Momo stock to see if we can push over 500 and hold is the same way with Piton. It's the same exact idea of 100, but with 500. If we reject this, I will be shorting ZM heavily. But that's what I'm looking for is a break and hold of that. Now, Beyond is another one that I'm looking at. It's got some squeezes starting on the 195. So just get this on your watch list, right? And I'm probably not going to, unless a good squeeze sets up, I'm probably just going to watch this and see if I can get in at a lower Bollinger Band area type play or a support area. So you guys see this 142 area. If it starts coming down into this area, I'll start looking for squeezes. That's how I'm looking to play that one. Now square. Square's one of my faves. I love it. It's beauty. And it was on Paco's watch list. So you guys can see this one, right? So it's lower, higher lows, higher highs from here, right? So we pop, sell off, baggers get sell out. Now we're going back for it, right? So now what I'm expecting is the same thing is another higher low to be put in, and then hopefully a break above that. So it may come down here even, right? So on square, you've got basically 3 squeezes. You got a little 15-minute squeeze as well. Is that what that is, or is it a 5-minute? Yeah, you got a 5-minute setting up as well here. For me, I'm going to play the longer one. And it's brand new. So just like Anand said earlier, you want to see this pull. And then you want the TTM to develop. And so remember, 195, that's only 2, right? It's broken into 2 days. The 78, it's developing pretty well. 1, 2. So this is actually, you see how this already has that trip top on it? Yeah, that'll be interesting to see if we can break and hold that. If we do not, I am definitely a buyer on the 78-minute chart. Okay, does everybody know the rules on TTM? Right? So can't buy it until it gets into the 8. Let's look for some volume profile areas in here. Hold on a sec. Sorry about that, somebody. Oh, I think I gotta mute that person. Frank, I'm muting you, bud. All right. Frank muted. Quick question. Oh, somebody else is here. Mariana. Sorry. All right, Mariana. I'm muting you as well. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Quick question. Which of the E-Trade studies do you put at the bottom of your screen are these oscillators? So this is actually TC2000O. This is not available on E-Trade. So this is my E-Trade setup right here. I don't have anything but volume profile and volume, and then a couple other things, but I don't have the TTM squeeze. So the TTM squeeze, you can download TOS, it has it. You can get TC2000, it has it as well. So for Square, all right. If I can get a pull of 153 on Square, I think that's a good trade, that 153 area. And what I'll be doing is I'll be playing this chart. I'll take my first shot around this 153 area, but again, it'll probably be 1/3 size so that I can add to it down here. If we don't get a pull to here, I'm going to get in Square. If I see the chart, like it's going to be on my main watches. Like I've got, you guys know I've got like probably 22 charts up at all times. This will be one of them that's on there. And so I'll be watching this. And if it starts curling, if it comes down to the 8 and starts curling off of these people right here, the volume profile people here, then I'll be a buyer as they're on that as well. Again, if technology's not tanking, okay? So that's how I'm planning on playing Square. SE, we went over with Anant. I'll go over it real quick again. Last week I told you guys to play between the 152.30 and 145 range, and that's what it pretty much did all week. And then it finally fired here above it. So my new setup now is strictly based off of this volume profile. If I can get in on a dip to this 150, 151 area, I'm a buyer of SE. And it's a new trade that I'm playing above anchored VWAP. If we break down below anchored VWAP, it gets back into that consolidation of the 145 to 152. ZS, I forgot why I wanted to look at ZS. So it's starting to curl. Does it have squeezes here? Can you guys hear that dog out there? Yeah, ZS isn't a TTM squeeze play. It's just something I wanted to look at. I'm not on Chewy. All right, so I think we're through those. Let's look at earnings plays. Does anybody have any earnings plays that they saw? So last week's watch list, guys, I left something out, and I wanted to see if anybody would catch it. So right here, do you see where I said, hey, October is rushing upon us? So make sure if you're willing to play run-ups, check the earnings beginning of October 2nd weeks from this Friday to October 2nd. So just in this little bitty thing that I sent you guys right here, what was the only play that was even worthy of looking at? That's right. Right here, right? Nothing else really matters. There's no good stats here. Right? No bueno. So these are good, right? You know, these are good. These are good. But for the run-up, this is the only thing. Did anybody take this? Well, let's look. BBBY. So guys, just remember, the stats are not to be played exactly. BBBY was in a perfect TTM squeeze, right? You've got a combo of things going for you on BBBY. So it's in this TTM squeeze. You've got great stats saying it's going to run up, right? It was, yeah, exactly, Anant. So look what happened. I mean, it gave you a cream entry right on the 21, right on the volume profile. Bam. There we go. So the reason I didn't say anything is because, guys, you have access to this Excel sheet. You can look for yourself. You can fish for yourself. And if I'm correct, yeah, it was, Paul. It was an ideal setup, right? Look at the short interest on this thing. Talk about a squeeze, right? So you've got a TTM setup, you've got stats set up, you've got a volume profile set up, you've got a high short flow. It's like, come on. This is what you call the gimme trades, right? And I wanted to see if anybody took that or if anybody found it. But this is how you use this sheet and this chart to fish for yourself. Yeah. So do you see mine right here, Bed Bath & Beyond? Mine says as of September 15th, you got 75% short flow on BBBY. Yeah, Victor. I mean, it really does. And the thing to do, remember what I told you to do with Costco in that video was, you know, you use these lines, right? You set up these implied move lines. I mean, here, let's, just look at the range on Costco, the one that I was heavily playing. This was the top side, and this was the low side of the ranges, right? And these were the volume profile levels here. So you just mix those in. It's so easy to do. You've got numbers, you've got stats, you've got volume profile. It's just an easy way to make easy money. I know people don't like that term. So it's a easier way to set up plays that you can control. There you go. Yes, drift plays are awesome. They're one of my favorites. All right. So let's go to the earnings plays this week. What I've done, guys, is here I emailed myself. Let me see if I can find it. I emailed myself a link, and I want you guys to test out and tell me if you guys can access with this link. Where? There we go. There it is. Let's see. Well, I didn't get it. I'm going to send somebody a link. Who can I send you a link, Peter, or not? Well, maybe if I send it to basically what I want to do is I want to send a link out for people that they can use this for this week as a test run. So anybody that has this link, they'll be able to access. All right. Peter, tell me if you get it. For some reason, I didn't get mine. It might be because we already have access to it. Hey, Peter, can I send it to your Gmail account? All right, here. I'm going to put yours in, Profit. Okay. Oh, thank you. Thanks a lot. All right. I just sent you an email, Serious Profit. So if you get that, will you see if you can access that workbook? And if you can, share that link here in chat. And then anybody that has that link, that way I don't have to send out 50,000 emails. Okay, perfect. So I think if you guys click that link, just save that link, and you should be able to access that. That'll give you access for this week, and you'll see changes. So if you're looking at it right now, you can see I'm typing in on H2. Hey guys, can you see me? So you should be able to see that change live. So anytime we come in here and adjust this stuff, you'll see it live because applied move changes and all that. So George Smith, somebody answer that question for George, and I'm gonna continue on. They know the answer to that, George. I'm gonna let them take care of that. That's a great question. All right, so for earnings, I haven't. How much time we got left? We've got 13 minutes, guys. I have done zero. Well, not zero. I've done very little research on these earnings plays. I wanted to do it together. So let's look at these together. All right. So I'm gonna jump these up. Let's look at these plays together. Right. So for this week, what we're looking at right here, right? That's this week. Yes, exactly. So they leave out before, and make sure you guys explain. So George, if earnings are Monday, September 28th before market opens, then that's the earnings day, September 28th. If earnings are Monday, September 28th after market opens, then the earnings day for this one is actually the 29th. So that's what you would measure it by. So let's go through the earnings plays for this week. You guys look at UNFI. I mean, how horrible is that? So now we look at the chart. I would love it if UNFI was up high. I did not know. It's not bad. Now the problem with UNFI is what? It's a CD play, right? Aren't these guys food, right? They're canned food and all that kind of crap. So everybody's been buying this stuff up, which I think is what caused this. You see this right here? Bam. So they must have had great numbers. But if I look at UNFI, look at these numbers, guys. So I'll be definitely playing one play. Can anybody tell me what that is? What's the one play I am for sure playing on UNFI? Yeah, Victor, you got it. Drift. Man. Okay, guys. For those that are new, how do you play this drift? What am I going to do on the day of? This one play. So on the day of, I am waiting for, if we get a pop of 4.1%, I short. Okay. So at this point, I will put on a short, be it vertical call spread, naked call, whatever it is, I am shorting at this point. So what I have over here, now guys, keep in mind, if this pulls a Zoom earnings, right, and they crush it and throw it out of the park, you got to throw these stats out. But barring any of that, the normal approach would be UNFI. I come over to my home tab. I look at UNFI, right, number 4, and we are at 1791 on the chart. So let's say we get a pop for a little run into earnings, and we're at. See, I wish we were here. This makes it a little bit harder, but it does give us overhead resistance to play against as well. So let's say we get a pop to 1850. So the day of earnings, 1850, that gives us a range from 22 to 1456, right? So you see where that 22 puts us? That would be a great thing to short against, but we're waiting for the day of. And so you come in here and let's say we open at, it's a decent report. So we're going to open at about $18. Well, this gives me the range to short against. If we get up into this range, I put on a vertical call spread. If we open up, it's a good report, and we open up at, say, 21, that changes it to that, right? So that's kind of how I play the day of trading on the drifts. So I'm definitely, the drift on this is a for sure play. Yeah, exactly. Oh, you got it right. So an example of this, another one here, I'll show you another one that we actually did last week that was not on the watch list because I didn't catch it until the day before. Check out these stats. Like, I start salivating in my mouth when I see this. I'm like, whoa, ooh. So guess what we did? Guess what my whole group of that Discord room of 20 plus traders did on this day? Because we had it planned the day before. We were looking at it after hours, and we said, man, if this thing gives us to the 520, 530 range, it's a gift. It's a free gift. And what do you know? Right into resistance. So we loaded up the short boat. I was covering around the 5 range, farming it off of that. It should be. Thank you for saying that. Let's check it out. So, no. It should be, Dimitri, it should be automatic. That's why I saved it to here. You guys aren't seeing this? Can you guys see? Hey, you guys can see me? Can you guys see that? Paul can. I don't. Susan can. Dimitri can. Yeah. Alex. Rick can't? Huh. So yeah, you should be able to see it. This automatically saves, and you should be able to see as soon as I type something in. If you cannot, there's something that you have to click, and it's basically it'll say something to the effect of it's like enabling a workbook, and it allows it to update. Yeah, so that's how it should be. It should be updated. All right, back to the watch list. How much time we got? We got 6 minutes. We got to get through this quick. So definitely a drift on UNFI day of drift. All right. Do you guys see anything else you like? What about MKC? Shoot me a message on Twitter, and I'll answer that for you, Abraham. Or if anybody else wants to answer that in here. So drift for sure on that one. And look at MKC. MKC has decent, it's packaged foods. So I like this one as well. So there's 2 things you can do here on MKC. On UNFI as well, if you wanted to. You can try to capture this move, but I'm definitely going to try to capture drift on MKC as well. Same thing that I just showed you with UNFI. It's the exact same thing. Thanks, Amount. Yep, that video will take care of it. All right, so what else do we see? NG. So NG, I think NG is gold, right? Yeah, NG is gold. So we got a nice little pullback here. I like this one. I like this. I love this gap down. So this is something that I really like, this combo. If this follows, if we get a gap down on NG, I'll also play that as a drift. NG, if we gap down per the stats, drift, positive. I'll definitely be playing that. Another way you can play this, if do you see NG's afterwards? Look at NG's after. So I actually might sell a naked put through this because of this right here. SNX has good as well for after. So on SNX, another way to play the SNX is to do a kind of the same thing that we do with the drift plays, but instead of playing it for that day, what you would do is you'd be looking to put on a vertical call spread for 1 week after, possibly 2 weeks after. If they don't have that, if it's monthly options, you can use the monthly options, but still the same idea. So SNX, you come over here, put in SNX, put in the opening price, and try to catch that drift to low. Why do I not have data on that? All right, so I'll figure out why we don't have the data on that, but that SNX after ER is a good play. Well, I've got 3 minutes. All right. Now, what's this 25? So Stars and Conagra have pretty constellation brands here. Man. So look, guys. So do you see how we're down here? This is a problem, right? I do not like playing negative drifts on negative when it's, if we were up here, it'd be great. So if we can get Conagra brands to bounce, right? It's October 1st, which is, what is that, Thursday? Before market open. If we get a little bounce into this, then I might play these drifts on these plays. Because ultimately what you're looking for now in these type of charts is you want to see a push back into resistance so you can bet against them. So if STARS and Conagra bounce into ER and play drift, negative drift. Now, guys, what are you looking at on BBBY? What do you see? Right? So we're in a short squeeze, right? We know that it's running up. So what we have to decide now is, when do we short this, right? When do we go against these guys? And is it worth the risk of getting short squeezed? So one thing I'll tell you is I will not short the equity because I do not want to get squeezed. What I will do is I will put on a vertical call spread, and it's getting close, right? We're gap filling. Do you see this? Do you see this implied move for BBBY? So the implied move, right? That's going to tell you the value that you can get for your contracts and the range that it's looking to go. We've got a 19% implied move, and look at the average move and average gap. Do you guys see this here? Here, let me circle these for you because this is key. This is something you need to. Yeah, this is something that you want to take note of. That versus that versus that. That means average 3.8. Average move for the whole day 5.9. They're pricing in 18.6 move here. That's because of the volatility that we just had plus the combined short flow, right? This thing literally could open at 30 or 5, right? That's what they're saying. They're like, we don't know. Actually, it's 17 or 11. That's what they're pricing in. So for me, I am looking to put on a vertical call spread that I'm willing to hold through. Guys, these are riskier because you're holding through. But I'm willing to put it on because I don't know. What do you guys think? When's the last time you shopped at Bed Bath & Beyond? The only thing that they're going to be able to say positive is our online sales were great, right? What else are they going to be able to say? Yeah, so my thesis is topside is probably safe. But if it's not safe because of the short, because if we do have some type of good earnings, you could have a squeeze. Look up Rad's short flow. Rad did the same exact thing. It came right into it, and I took the same exact play, right? I was short Rad, but I was not short the equities because of the high short flow. And look, bam, we nailed it, right? The store has been going down for you. Exactly. Like, for me, honestly, guys, to take this as a long, I was talking to my guys about it. I was like, for me to long this was really, really, really hard. It took some stick to your plan, dang it, follow the stats, follow the rules, just go. Yeah, exactly, Matt. It's like offering things at a discount all the time doesn't work. Okay, so honestly, what I'm looking at here, so the price is $14.53, and I look at BBBY, that's saying $17.23. All right, so let's look at $17.23. Guys, $17.23 is all the way up here. That's where they're pricing this. So on Monday, I'm going to be looking to get into a vertical call spread on this. And if we keep pushing higher, then it's even a better risk reward, better chance. All right. So any questions before I stop the recording? We're a couple minutes over. Yes. Yeah, it is. So what Anon here, I'm going to stop the recording, and what Anon is talking about